Yo, new DLC is out on Bleach Rebirth of Souls with Unohana, and I wanted to break her down for y'all on day 1, especially because of her unique combo structure. Let's first start off in her base form and then in her awakened form where she becomes crazy different. It's interesting, she gave her similar Rekka cancels as the last DLC character with her signature called Iai, I believe. But she can only combo signature after 2 quicks or flash quick. So if you do signature into quick, that generates more spirit energy. Signature flash is for more damage, and signature generates a lot of fighting spirit. So it depends on what you need and want to build, where you can either follow Ho-Oh after, which has been buffed for more damage universally in the game, or you can also head into SP1 after her signature Rekka stuff. If you just leave it after inputting the SP1, you get a high damaging Sokatsui to land on your opponents, or you can press signature during the animation to get another follow-up that builds more fighting spirit needed to awaken. Now the reason why she has tools to build her fighting spirit up is that you want to get her awakening and spirit drive ASAP, since she becomes broken later on in the game in this state, which we'll discuss soon. So if you combine it all together with yellow chain reverse, you can pick and choose which signature to branch into to get SP, damage, or fighting spirit respectively. This is how her longest combo can look, but going for follow-up Ho-Oh earlier is better, just in case if you want to get a kill, because of how it was buffed damage wise. So that might be interesting to explore as well, instead of having to dump out SP into it, or if you just don't have enough to yellow chain reverse to extend your combos. In base form, she also has 2 more non-comboable moves that we need to cover. Tilt Flash is a move that doesn't combo but is plus on hit and on block, so you can continue pressure as like a long range lariat in which you can grab, frame trap, backstep to base stuff out, you know, the universal mix-ups. SP2 on the other hand, for 100 SP, is a counter stance which refills massive amounts of Reishi, your health points, on hit. This might be broken because of the amount of HP you get while damaging the opponent. That's crazy. But if you press signature during her SP2 animation, you slash them with Iai, which deals more damage and generates fighting spirit instead of boosting and regenerating your HP. I personally think the HP boost is better, but if you really need that fighting spirit to get into awaken or sublimation later on, then it might be worth it. In awaken, she changes a bit, puts on her serious face, and goes from the nice Retsu to Yachiru Unohana, the OG Kenpachi. So here her normal combos are the same with flash quick into the 3 different signature strings that work the same into SP1 or follow Ho-Oh to end it off. But remember how I told you her moves changed in fighting spirit? Yeah, the animation of the same combos alters as you build up your gauge in sublimation and in fighting spirit. As you can see, the animation changes with more hits and thus more damage. So her simple max damage combos can look like so. I just love the way that last flash attack looks in Awaken during her combos as well. The way that she just slashes backwards back in Steph Curry downtown, bang, no look. And sorry, to add on to her Iai when awakened, you can do signature quick into another quick, that's the Iai quick, or signature quick into another flash, that's the Iai flash, or another signature to further extend the combos, but her loops are more damaging than this combo extension anyways. But more importantly, in awakened form, she has a blood aura gauge obtained with a signature in neutral or SP1 into signature. Pressing signature to charge fills half of your gauge versus SP1 into signature fills the entire gauge. Now combos can be the same, but all attacks drain this gauge while boosting their damage and restoring your own HP on hits. Sheesh. Taking damage also drains this gauge down, but you take less damage when you have the gauge active, so the gauge gets used up as like a defensive barrier. On top of these buffs, it changes some moves as well, like Tilt Flash now becomes a move that's comboable, stagger him to the ground, in which you can do any other move afterwards. Another unique move you get with a gauge up is Tilt Signature. This does 3 slashes that actually have range, and this decreases the gauge per slash. If you still have some blood aura gauge left on the 3rd slash, it crumples them, which lets you combo afterwards for huge damage. This is actually a really good tool to use after grabs, by the way, for huge damage, as it keeps them close. or even to pair after a tilt flash, which can be looped for huge damage, by the way. Yeah, this is kind of broken, not gonna lie. Or if you see your gauge depleting on the third or second slash, you can use your follow-up ho-ho to continue damage from there if you're not sure you're gonna get the crumple hits, you know? Now, SP1 in general is a good combo ender, where pressing signature during SP1 instead does less damage without the HP regen to fully fill your blood aura gauge instead. So regular SP1 damage, SP1 with signature, blood aura gauge. Now, SP2 is the same as before, a normal counter that heals insane amounts of HP, or you can press signature afterwards for more damage than fighting spirit instead of HP to get closer to that spirit drive. But once you're in sublimation or spirit drive, SP2 becomes a high damaging combo tool, not a counter anymore. The only thing is that because it's so high damage, they restricted its usage. You can't combo it after any of the signature slashes. You can only do SP1 after the signature slashes attacks, not SP2. And they did this by restricting SP2's activation, where you can only do it after normal flashes or quick. But because it's so easy to just pop signature to activate blood aura gauge whenever, especially after a smash now or never Kikon, you get her high damaging combos pretty often. Although remember, if you get hit, you lose a lot of your gauge while, you know, keeping that defense up, so that might be the hardest part to manage. With that being said, with everything put together, you have a ton of routings to TOD and maximize her damage into. Like this one, after her grab, you can do a few a signature tilt flash loops as shown in my shorts. It's more optimal to avoid flash quick signature into whichever branch to combo, because they can't combo into SP2 afterwards, or if you chain reverse after the signature slashes, you're unable to press signature to charge her blood aura gauge up and get tilt flash. The combo just doesn't work like that. It only works after flash into chain reverse or flash health Hakugeki a little bit and then into chain reverse. Then you're able to actually charge up. Doing the signature slashes are just good to develop her while building up fighting spirit gauge, while building up SP for either follow-up ender or SP1 ender, but you want to build her up for late game situations so you can get access to these high damaging loops. And it's crazy how when she's in sublimation in fighting spirit, she can soul break for 7 stocks. Yeah, she's fucking broken, bro. I don't know why they treating her like this. Or in neutral, if you land like a tilt flash or something as a combo star, then you can get into loops. But you can only get into loops from grab or raw tilt flash or raw tilt signature to combo, because you can't really combo these from your normal hits, right? Unless if it's after yellow chain reverse. Now, because of how much damage SP2 does, you don't even need to flash up to kill opponents, because it's just insane damage. If you do land a flash as a combo starter though, you could chain reverse into charge into a few loops, I guess, where it doesn't even do much damage if you're not in spirit drive, so it just might not be worth it, to be honest. It's better if you can do her tilt flash, which is still plus on block without the blood aura gauge, and then you can mix from there with a grab and then get, you know, the big loops in, you know? But if you land Kikon or soul break before sublimation, you destroy 1 or 2 stocks on soul breaks. It does give her huge fighting spirit buffs to get into sublimation earlier, but not sure of the point of this besides just being lore accurate as she loosens up to actually fight Kenpachi. But it is worth noting and understanding if you bring her out to battle, you know. Now that about wraps it up for this mini Bleach guide, and if you want to see more peak Bleach gameplay and made it this far, check out my Footsies compilation, which was a super dope video showing my love for the game and a big Bleach project of mine. I love this game, man, but I personally think she's broken, goddamn, so you might see some Unohana nerfs soon, not gonna lie. Let me know your thoughts down below, and with that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.